Robert Fisher and Jacqueline Milchard.
Good evening. The tribe has spoken. It has been a night to remember for fans of the hit show Survivor.
And in just a few minutes, we'll show you the celebrations where global viewers were eagerly waiting to find out who was the big $1 million winner.
That story is coming up, Jackie, but first in the news tonight, a Canadian is reportedly among the victims of an Airbus crash in the Persian Gulf.
The pilot was attempting a landing in Bahrain when tragedy struck. Tonight, officials have wrapped up their search effort, recovering all 143 bodies with no survivors. Among those on board the flight from Cairo to Bahrain, an unidentified Canadian, 2 Britons, and an Australian. Most of the others were Arab nationals. Officials say the Airbus went down after 2 failed landing attempts and was on its 3rd attempt when it crashed into the Persian Gulf. Tonight, as grieving relatives converged at the local airport, the U.S. Navy was working hard to lend its support.
At the moment, we have 3 helicopters on scene. We have 10 small craft. We also have 4 other ships that are en route to help.
But tonight, a request to send in Canada's HMCS Calgary was called off. Search teams were able to pull up the plane's black box or flight recorder, which has now been handed over to investigators. The Airbus that crashed was identical to this one, an A320, only 6 years old, with relatively few flight hours. The twin-engine jet is a competitor to the Boeing 737.
The A320 has an excellent safety record in the 10 or more years that it's been in airline service.
But despite that good safety record, there have been several crashes, the most recent in Warsaw in 1993 that killed 2 people. As to what happened in this case, the investigation continues.
Here in Toronto, a city man is a survivor tonight thanks to the Toronto Police Marine Unit and the new chopper Air 3. 37-year-old Christopher Crysdale of Toronto was out on the lake in his Sea-Doo when the engine failed. He thought he was just 5 miles south of Palace Pier when he called Peel Region Police on his telephone. Marine Unit couldn't find him, but Toronto's chopper did just 10 minutes later, a full 20 miles south of where Crysdale thought he was. Police say it was not for the chopper. He might have been out on the lake for a very long time.
I mean, the weather is decent tonight, so it's all right, but he would have drifted a long way because there was a northwest wind, so he would have drifted back towards the islands, but he was approximately 15 nautical miles out into the lake, so there's a danger that at that point when you're out in the water to that distance, you could be hit by another boat. He's very, very hard to see on the water at that time of night.
Crysdale, incidentally, is in good condition at this hour and is one very thankful man.
An update now to a story we first brought you tonight at 6 o'clock.
A young child falling from a balcony in Scarborough. It happened just before the supper hour. An 11-year-old girl fell from the 2nd floor of a house under renovation in the Kingston Road in Midland area. The child was semi-conscious when emergency crews arrived. She remains in serious condition at this hour at Sick Children's Hospital.
And time now for our first look at the forecast. Over to Christine Crosby in the Sky Tracker Weather Center. Chris.
First, a quick update on the tropical storm Debbie. It's at the eastern tip of Haiti now with winds of 85 kilometers an hour, but the storm could regain hurricane status as it moves out over open water over the next 24 hours. It could still hit southern Florida by Friday. Tourists have been asked to leave the Florida Keys. And there you can see as it makes its progress towards the Florida Keys, probably take a couple of days before it gets there. Now, what's happening locally? Quick look at our radar. We've had a few spotty showers here and there, but all of that is tapering off. Heading for a nice day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. 14 in the morning. It's going to be chilly. Sun will rise at 6:32, and things are going to warm up after that. We're heading for a nice weekend. I'll tell you about that a little later on. Robert?
Thank